Hi, good evening, everybody. Hello.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening, sir. Good
Venkat
evening.
garu.
Sorry, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
It's okay. It's okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Swami garu. Good evening, Ratan Singh. Good evening, Khalil Ahmad.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Uday. Good evening, Chitti Venkat garu. Good evening, Manikanta. మణికంఠ గారు మీది నెట్వర్క్ ఇష్యూ ఉంటుంది, నిదానంగా వస్తుంది. గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్ అని ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ రీకనెక్ట్ అవ్వండి. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed about work at height, and we have another 3-4 slides. We'll go through the slides, and today we'll talk about the hand and portable power tools. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed about what is meant by work at height. We have seen different types of platforms. We have seen hazards associated with work at height, and we have seen some of the safety measures which we have to taken care while work at height. And we have seen about the minimum requirements of some of the platforms like stairs, scaffolds, ladders, and we have seen how to use a ladder, I mean the angle, as well as how we can go, I mean how we can ascend and how we can descend while using ladder. And we have seen a ramp and how the ramp should be, and we have seen different types of platforms as well. And today we'll see the pending slides, which is from work at height. Then we'll go through the portable tools topic today. Yeah. Yesterday, I think we are here now. Swinging scaffold. This swinging scaffold will be the hanging type, which will be supported by two chain pulley blocks, rope and hooks. It can be lowered or it can be taken up upside direction, or it can be taken downwards. And the anchorage and the suspension gear should be strong enough to withstand the load with a good factor of safety. Working on roofs. What are the measures we have to take in care while working on roofs? Roof works means we can see sheet laying, removing of old sheets, and all. It will be under working on roofs. Whatever the roof it is, you are working on a any fragile surface which is inclined both the sides, that will be called as a roof. We'll see some of the photos in the coming slides. The serious accident happened due to fall of persons working on roof. This is the one of the major reason the people are working on roofs for the falling from height. A fall through fragile roof, sheeting, loss of balance due to the slope of the roof, or effect of wind and insufficient care while working at the edge of the roof constitute the principal causes of such accidents. Which means the main reasons for falling from roofs is roof sheeting, while fragile roof sheeting is loss of balance due to slope of the roof or effect of wind. Sometimes heavy winds will be there. If they are working at 20 feet or 30 feet, if heavy winds are there, they may lose their balance. And carrying while working at edge of the roof, they are not taking sufficient precautions, sufficient measures while working at the edge of the roof. These are the some of the causes it leads to fall of a person from the roof. How we can prevent? It can be prevented by appropriate safety measures like crawling or walk boards, railing, safety belt, and safety net. These are the some of the equipments or some of the measures we can take. We can avoid a fall of a person from a roof. We'll see how it look the crawling and walking board. Use of safety belt alone while walking on fragile roof or height more than 6 feet or 2 meter is not permitted. One second, guys. And alone safety belt, it will not give any safety precaution. It is dangerous and many fatal accidents have happened because of this condition. Sound platform, adequate support or safety net should be also provided. Which means the safety belt itself, it is not sufficient while working at height. Apart from that, we have to use the safety net as well. Okay, here you see the some of the measures we have taken. This is called a crawling board and flat ladder for the roof ladder. This is the one of the equipment we can use it for, and this is the boards, walking boards for the especially for the roof folks. Now we'll see many of the people knows confined space. What is mean by confined space? Anybody can tell what is mean by confined space?
One entry and one exit. Sir.
No, one by one, one by one. Don't tell
Limited
together.
access or address.
Limited access or limited access. Then
There is a possibility of a lack of oxygen, poor lighting, and their ventilation will be not there. One point of entry and exit is there. There may possibility of temperature and low, no light.
Okay, Ratan Singh, I'll make it simple. If you are telling it is a confined space, the space which is not designed for continual occupancy of a human being, that is the one condition. At the same time, limited exit and a limited entrance. There will be a one entrance and one exit. And other one, the deficiency of oxygen. The oxygen levels are not sufficient for a human being. These are the three conditions. If it is satisfying any workplace, there we call it as a confined space. There will be oxygen deficiency, lighting, and then it is not designed for continuous occupancy of a people. He'll give some of the examples such as silos, tanks, vessels, and boilers. These are the some of the examples for the confined space. If you see in pharmaceutical industry, we can call it as ANFDs, reactors, centrifuges, tanks, etc. Okay. Confined space is also described as a place. Sorry, yeah.
Sir, small doubt regarding safety, use of safety nets while working at height. When we have to use safety nets also along with safety belts. Now,
Yes.
Is there any particular height or anything from ground level? At certain height only safety net has to be tied, or which quality of the safety net is to be used, and what is the area it has to be covered? Is there anything particular like that?
No, there are different kinds of belts are there, which means the mesh. If you see the mesh size, no, it will be 2-inch, 4-inch, like that. It is there based on the particles which is falling down and based on the height the people are working. If the people are working at 10 meter or 15 meter or 20 meter, there you'll go for the mesh size will be very small, 1 inch or 1.5 inch or 2 inch. The size means the gap between the stitching. If you open the safety belt, no, there you can see the some portions, some partitions.
Yeah,
no?
that I understand.
That partitions, it should be
between the mesh. It is okay.
Between the mesh, it should be closure, because the sudden impact, it should not be taken off. There is no specific criteria based on the risk factor. Then we have to apply a safety belt around the platform where they are working. Sometimes even for the scaffolds also, after the scaffold, minimum 2 meter or 3 meter, they'll apply a safety net to avoid the, to prevent the fall of any objects from the while carrying by the workers. or sometimes for the operators or workers, for them also they used to arrange a belt actually. It's depend on the risk factor. It's depend on the height of the people they are working.
No, that's correct, sir. That I accepted. But the thing is, no, I wanted to only my doubt is from ground level. From ground level, is there any particular height at only at up to after this level only the safety net has to be, means the ground clearance from the safety net, and if anyone suppose if anyone falls from the height, it should be like that. He should not touch the ground with the impact, the fall. So is there any particular height or distance from the ground? Above this height only safety net has to be there. Below this it should not be there.
No. There is no such kind of standard or requirement. For example, I'll give one example. One of the famous pharmaceutical company, he fallen down from the 5 feet height actually. He is now permanently bedridden, which means above 6 feet anybody is working. If the company is providing able to bear all this safety net cost and all, you can provide. If the people are working above 6 feet height or 2 meter height also, in the bottom to the net you can use the safety net from the 10 feet height or 2 meter height or 3 meter height itself. Even as my example, even he falling from 3 feet height, 4 feet height also, I have seen some of the cases. It is the major head injuries based on the workplace they are working. For example, in the bottom workplace they are completely unmaintained. Many rock particles are there. Fabrication material is there, so that there will be a chance of serious head injury.
No, that's correct, sir. If the person is falling, if by mistake also in a critical part, he will. If the accident happens, he can die on the spot also. No, I'm not saying that one. I'm asking the safety net which has to be tied onto the strong support. That safety net, is there any particular height from the ground level? It has to be tied onto up to that height at least. Okay, that you are asking. Minimum 6 to 10 feet. We can tie actually. Above the ground level. Means, no, because it should not happen. Okay, if the person is falling and with the impact, falling down, touching onto the ground. It has to hold. It has to hold. That's what. Is that 6 to 10 feet we can hide. 6 to 10 feet. 6 to 10 feet above the. Above the ground level we can. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Is mostly enclosed or partially open, which means it is closely enclosed or any one of the portion it will be open, and is at atmospheric pressure and temperature, has limited or restricted opening, which means there will be only one opening or one entry. There is no different entries. The same entry he has get in, the same entry he has to come out, and is not designed or intended for the normal workplace, which means it's not designed for the continuous, which means 8 hours occupancy. It is not designed for, and has a unfavorable natural ventilation due to stagnant air, no free air movement, and oxygen deficiency. Hello? Yeah? Tejeshwara garu cheppandi.
Sir.
Cheppandi sir, cheppandi.
సార్ అది ఇప్పుడు మన ఈ టాపిక్ దేని సార్ ప్రెజెంట్ దేని గురించి సార్ ఈ టాపిక్?
ఇది వచ్చేసి వర్క్ ఎట్ హైట్ అండి. నిన్న మీరు అటెండ్ అవ్వలేదా క్లాసు?
లేదు సార్, అది తెలియక.
ఓకే. ఇది వర్క్ ఎట్ హైట్ నిన్న ఒక 3-4 స్లైడ్స్ పెండింగ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ రోజు ఇది ఫినిష్ చేసి మనము నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ వెళ్తాం. ఈ రోజు టాపిక్ వెళ్తాం.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇన్ కేస్ మన నోట్స్ ఎట్లా ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోవాలి?
ఏంటంటే నేను ఇచ్చిన స్లైడ్స్ చదువుకుంటే సరిపోతుందండి. నేను ఇచ్చిన స్లైడ్స్ మీ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చిన మెటీరియల్ చదువుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది
సార్?
సరిపోతుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే. Which means natural ventilation is not there and no free air movement and oxygen deficiency, and has a contaminated air, which means the inside the atmosphere is contaminated with any toxic material or toxic gas or toxic fumes or flammable gas or dust, and may cause engulfment, swallowing in unstable or loose material, which means inside you have entered. Even if you go for more than 1.5 meter depth, we can put it as a confined space, even that excavation as well.
Sir, engulfment and ఏంటి సార్?
Engulfment అంటే ఏంటంటే మీద పడిపోవడం ఏమంటారు? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మునిగిపోవటం అలాంటివి.
వాటర్లో మునిగిపోవడం అంటారు కదా, సడన్ గా ఏదైనా మెటీరియల్ పడిపోవడము మునిగిపోవటము దాని గురించి అంటారు.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Yeah. And here we can see the some of the examples for the confined spaces, manhole, silos, and pipeline, storage tanks and all. And these are the some of the hazards associated with the confined space: poor lighting and ventilation, oxygen deficiency, contamination of toxic or flammable gases, unexpected activation of machinery or flow, and no way or no time available for the exit, which means you cannot exit in case any emergency immediately. Engulfment, ఇక్కడ చూడండి మీకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్లియర్గా ఉంది. బరీయింగ్ అంటే పూడిపోవటము లేదంటే మునిగిపోవటం ఇన్ ఏ లూజ్ మెటీరియల్. నాన్ స్పెసిఫిక్ వర్క్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్, విచ్ మీన్స్ నాన్ స్పెసిఫిక్ అంటే ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ స్పెసిఫిక్లీ డిజైన్ ఫర్ ద టు డూయింగ్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద వర్క్ యాక్టివిటీస్. I think many of the people we have seen this tripod. This tripod is used for the rescuing of people or allowing people to get inside for the confined spaces. And some of the pharmaceutical industries, they use the rope ladder for getting into the reactors, glass line reactor or SS reactors and all. They used to use this rope ladder for getting inside the confined spaces. Okay, with this we are completing this work at height topic, and we'll discuss today about the portable tools, manual and the portable power tools. Okay, any doubt in this, so that we can wind up and we can start our today's session?
సార్ వన్ డౌట్ సార్.
సార్ వర్క్ అట్ హైట్ లో
చెప్పండి
సార్ వర్కింగ్ అట్ హైట్స్ లోనే కన్ఫైన్డ్ స్పేస్ లో చాప్టర్ సార్ ఇది.
వర్కింగ్ అట్ హైట్ లోనే మనకి ఇది కవర్ అవుతుంది. నేను ఇందాక చెప్పాను వాట్ ఆర్ ద హజార్డ్స్ అంటే ఫాలోయింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద నెగిటివ్ హైట్స్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక్కోసారి ఏమవుతుంది, ఏదైనా ట్యాంక్ లోకి చిన్నగా నేను దిగుతా అని చెప్పేసి దిగుతూ ఉంటారు, సడన్ గా పడిపోతూ ఉంటారు. ఇదంతా నెగిటివ్ హైట్స్ కదా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇది చూసారనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి దిగాలినా దీంట్లోకి ఏమవుతుంది, ఇదంతా నెగిటివ్ హైట్ అవుతుంది, డీప్ అవుతుంది కదా, అట్లా అనమాట. ఇక్కడ ఒక మ్యాన్ హోల్ ఉంది, ఇదంతా కూడా నెగిటివ్ హైట్ అవుతుంది. ఈ నెగిటివ్ హైట్స్ అన్ని కూడా మనకి దీని కిందే కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాము.
సార్
చెప్పండి.
బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ ఆర్ ఎంయూడబ్ల్యూపీ అవన్నీ వర్క్ అట్ హైట్ లోకి వస్తాయి సార్.
ఏంటండి
బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ సిజర్ లిఫ్ట్స్ అవన్నీ?
లేదు, అవన్నీ మనం అక్కడ డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా. ఈఓటీ క్రేన్స్, తర్వాత బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్స్, తర్వాత ఇంకేం డిస్కస్ చేసాము,
మెకానికల్ లిఫ్టింగ్స్ అండ్ మాన్యువల్
మెకానికల్ లిఫ్టింగ్ లో డిస్కస్ చేసాము అవన్నీ. మెకానికల్ మెటీరియల్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్. చెప్పండి
సార్. బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ పార్కింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు బకెట్ ఉంటది కదా, బకెట్ అనేది లోవర్ లెవెల్లో ఉండాలి, హైయర్ హైట్ లో ఉండాలి సార్?
లేదండి, కిందే పెట్టుకుంటారు.
ఓకే.
అది కింద
ట్యాక్స్ ఏమన్నా కారణం ఏమన్నా సార్ కింద పెట్టాలి?
కింద పెట్టలేదండి, పైకి పెట్టుకుంటే ఏదైనా విండ్ స్పీడ్ వస్తుంది, ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఊగి దొల్లేదానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈవెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సేఫ్ టు కీప్ ఇట్ ఇన్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీరు చెయ్యి మీరు అలాగే పైకి ఎత్తి పెట్టుకున్నారు అక్కడ, ఏమవుతుంది, ఆటోమేటిక్ గా కొంతసేపటికి మీ షోల్డర్ లో పెయిన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. As a general example, same way they are also having some hydraulics, even though it is manufactured in a right way also, it have some wind effect. There is a high wind, there is a chance of fall down of that boom lift.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Andy, thank you. Any other doubts? Shall I continue to the today's session?
Yes sir.
Okay, thank you.
హలో, స్మాల్ డౌట్ సార్.
చెప్పండి
సార్, బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ తో వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు యాంగిల్ యొక్క మెజర్మెంట్ ఎలా తీసుకోవాలి సార్?
బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ తోటి రామకృష్ణ గారు మీరు మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు.
బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ తో వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు యాంగిల్ ఎంత అనేది ఎలా తీసుకోవాలి సార్?
బూమ్ లిఫ్ట్ మనం బేసిక్ గా ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తారు, ఏదైనా లైట్స్ చేంజ్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు లేదంటే ఏదైనా ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ని ఫిక్స్ చేసేటప్పుడు మనకి యూజ్ చేస్తారు. యాంగిల్ అనేది మాక్సిమం నన్ను అడిగితే 30 to 40 degrees లో యూజ్ చేస్తారు. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ ఇట్స్ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ద వెయిట్ యు ఆర్ క్యారీయింగ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ద కెపాసిటీ విల్ బి 1 ton at the edge. If you are using maximum capacity, the angle should be minimum. If you are using lesser capacity, you can go for the maximum angle and you can use the most, the maximum extent it can go. but it should not be in a vertical position. It should be maximum 30 to 70 degree.
30 to 70.
Yeah.
A safe angle.
Yeah, it's a safe angle. And also the angle, it depends on the wind speed in the
Weight.
workplace. Yeah, and the weight as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
గవర్నమెంట్ నా కొడుకులు ఎవరు పనిచేస్తారు
అందరూ ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ఓకే
సార్.
యా, హరిగారు చెప్పండి.
హలో సార్.
హరిగారు చెప్పండి.
సార్, ఈ కన్ఫైన్డ్ స్పేసెస్ టాపిక్ ఇంతేనా కవర్, ఇంకా వేరే ఎక్కడన్నా కవర్ అవుతుంది?
కన్ఫైన్డ్ స్పేస్ టాపిక్ ఇంకా మనకి దీంట్లో కవర్ అవుతుంది సార్. ఎక్కడంటే కెమికల్ సేఫ్టీలో కవర్ అవుతుంది.
Confined spaces was
it is a vast topic actually. We'll cover in detail in paper number 8, chemical safety.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Today we are discussing about the people seen, and in our household this thing also we used to have a hand tools. Can you tell anybody what is the examples of hand tools and portable power tools?
hand tools, cutting player, hammer,
Grinders.
Drilling machine, sir.
Okay. Hand tools will be which is not, driven by the power, which is not operated with the aid of power, which is used by human energy. The power tools will be which is used by
non-mechanical.
Sir, power tools and drilling machine avani vastayi.
Cutting player.
Okay Venkat garu.
Screwdrivers anni vastayi, sir.
Yeah, Nataraj, thank you.
The power tools ante drilling machine, cutter,
డ్రింగ్ మిల్ మిషన్, కటింగ్ మిషన్, తర్వాత
Cutting
గ్రైండింగ్ మిషన్, ఎయిర్ బ్లోవర్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడాను పోర్టబుల్ పవర్ టూల్స్ కింద వస్తాయి.
power tools.
Okay, thank you. We'll see. We'll see that we know very well what about the manual, hand tools and the portable power tools. We'll see some of the causes for the accidents with this kind of tools. The causes of tool accidents and their safety aspects, including ergonomic design, are more important, which means the tool they have designed, it should be ergonomically well designed. We should not give any impact while using. We have seen what is mean by ergonomic topics in manual material handling. The main causes of tool accidents are eye injuries due to falling chips from the tools. While doing hammering or while doing any chipping activity, the main injury is eye injuries. And puncture wounds and infections. Puncture wounds, whatever the wounds you are having, already you have met with something or you have already injured while doing this, using with these kind of tools, it may get infected by the activity or dust particle you are getting into effect. Cut injuries due to the knives. Cut injuries, whatever the portable knives you are using, there will be a chance of cut injuries. Chisels and hammers, this is also very dangerous while using if you are not handled properly. And bone fracture due to defective or slipping wrenches and the scratches due to the scrap. Wrenches means if you use pipe wrench, big pipe wrenches, the people used to deal with the some of the tightening the big flanges or pipelines. That time if it is defective or if you are slipped from your hand, there will be a chance of fracture. With the scrap and all, cutting of fingers and tendons and arteries and constitution, this will be related to the injuries. And the poor maintenance, if you are not maintaining the tool, even though if you are using in home or even though if you are not using in industry, it should be maintained in a good condition to avoid these kind of accidents. Incorrect tool, wrong usage, carelessness, bad storage, and poor materials are main causes of tool accidents, which means incorrect tool. You are selected a wrong tool for the activity you are performing, or you are using in a wrong way, which is not used in such a manner. For example, our people use cutting plier or a screwdriver for the removing a nut, or sometimes if it was struck with the this thing, they use the screwdriver and they will hammer it to make it loosen. Those times it will be chance of accident. Carelessness, they are not taking proper care while using these tools. And bad storage, due to bad storage it will get rusted and it will have a formation of internal crack. While using it, it may broke suddenly. And poor material are main causes, which means the made which is made by the tools which is poor quality, that leads to tool accidents. We can see some of the prevention and control measures to avoid these tool accidents. The main controls are the right tool for the right job. Our maintenance people or safety people always say that use right tool for the right job. If you want to use the screwdriver, you have to use the screwdriver. You should not use the chisel in that place. And some of the wrong methods we'll see: to use a file instead of a pry, and wrenches instead of a hammer. Instead of using wrench, you are using a hammer. And peelers instead of wrench. These are the some mishandling or wrong selection or wrong method of tools. We'll see some. Hello, I'll request all the participants, please be on mute. If you have any doubt, just unmute and talk, otherwise everybody will get disturbance. Thank you. Yeah. Tools in good condition. For example, poor conditions are hammer with a loose handle. We'll see some of the, it should be in a good condition. We'll see some of the poor conditions as well. Hammers with a loose handle or screw. Drivers and cutting tools with a broken points or a broken handle. Wrenches with a cracked or worn jaws. And dull jaws or flexible electric cables with a splint insulation, which means splint insulation in the sense insulation got peeled off. And broken plugs, unearthed ground wire, etc., such as condition should be removed. These are some of the bad conditions of tools. And tools to be used in a right way. We have seen the wrong usage of tool also, it leads to accidents. We have to use in a right way. Screwdrivers applied to a, sorry, yeah.
స్ప్లిట్ ఇన్సులేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్? డ్యామేజ్డ్ ఇన్సులేషన్.
స్ప్లిట్ ఇన్సులేషన్ అంటే అదేమవుతుందంటే ఒక కొంచెం మనకి ఆ ఇన్సులేషన్ కట్ అయ్యి బయటకు వచ్చేస్తుంది అన్నమాట, కొంచెం అట్లా.
ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే.
యా. Screwdrivers applied to a job. Example, to open a lid, to remove a bearing. And knives pulled toward to the body, and the failure to guard electrical equipment, which means knives pulled towards the body, which means మన ఎట్లా ఏదైనా పీస్ అనేది కట్ చేసేటప్పుడు అటు నుంచి సడన్ గా మన వైపుకి లాక్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాము. అది వచ్చేసి ఒక కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఓల్డెన్ డేస్ నుంచి. దానివల్ల కూడాను మీరు సడన్ ఫోర్స్ అప్లై చేయడం వల్ల మన కూడా టచ్ అయ్యి మనకి ఇంజ్యూర్ అయ్యేదానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. యూ షుడ్ బి సైడ్ వర్డ్స్, నాట్ టు ద టువర్డ్స్ యువర్ బాడీ. అండ్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ టు గ్రౌండ్ ద ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్, దే fail to ground the electrical equipment, and tool should be used in a right way.
Sir.
Yeah.
So now we are discussing hand tools and portable tools, sir.
Portable power tools.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. In case if you will take in pharmacy, somebody people are working. Some employees, some people are working instead of turner school, some other tools. So then what we will say, sir, as a safety officer?
As a safety officer, we have to tell that whatever the suitable tools are there for their activity, we have to suggest. If they are not there, we have to inform to the concerned their supervisors or managers.
Yes,
we
sir.
have to tell them to provide a right tool for their job actually.
Okay.
We have to tell the whatever the problems they may face if you are using.
So before that, we have to follow instructions.
Yeah, we have to follow the instructions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir.
చెప్పండి, ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు? రామకృష్ణ చెప్పండి.
సార్, అనదర్ డౌట్ ఏంటంటే అసలు నాన్ స్పార్క్ టూలింగ్స్ అనేవి ఎలా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తారు సార్?
సార్, అది ఈ టాపిక్ సంబంధించింది కాదు, నేను మీకు చెప్తాను. నాన్ స్పార్కింగ్ టూల్స్ అంతా కూడా అది పెద్ద టాపిక్. అది నాన్ స్పార్కింగ్ టూల్స్ అన్ని కూడాను బ్రాంజ్ తో చేస్తారు. అదే సింపుల్ బండ గుర్తు అనమాట.
ఓకే
బ్రాస్ తో తయారు చేసిన టూల్స్ అన్ని కూడా నాన్ స్పార్కింగ్ టూల్స్. ఓకే,
ఓకే
నాకు ఇంకొక రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏంటంటే, మనం ఇట్లా మధ్య మధ్యలో చెప్పుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతే ఈ టాపిక్ నేను నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్లో కూడా నేను ఫినిష్ చేయలేను. మీకున్న డౌట్స్ అన్ని ఒక చోట నోట్ చేసుకోండి. ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్లాస్ విల్ డిస్కస్. ఓకే
ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ
లేదంటే మన టాపిక్స్ అన్ని అలా పెండింగ్ ఉండిపోతాయి.
ఓకే
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Okay, the prevention and control of tool accident. We'll see how we can prevent and control of these tool accident. Tools kept in a safe place and safe way, which means whatever the tools we are having, we have to kept in a safe place. Unsafe practices are tool kept overhead so as to fall, which means they'll keep the tools above the rack and they are not kept fully inside the rack. Some of the portion they may kept outside. While touching, if you touch anybody accidentally touches it, it may fall down. Chisels and other sharp tools kept in a pocket or left in toolbox, which means chisels and sharp tools which have to put in a pocket, which means it has to come with a pocket like a ela anachu mobile ki pouch laga. It has to come with a pocket. We have to kept in pocket or left in a toolbox. If your pockets are not there, we have to keep it in a toolbox with a cutting edge exposed, which means cutting edge exposed. Toolbox with a cutting edge exposed. They should be kept in a proper way. If the cutting edge exposed, if you have to keep it in a proper way so that it should not harm, it should not touch with the while taking out or while handling. Another thing is good housekeeping. The housekeeping will play a major role in improving safety. Whatever the industry, if you are maintaining housekeeping properly, 50% of accidents we can reduce it actually. Haphazard laying of tools anywhere, leaving tools at workplace after completion of the job. This is the very bad practice. Once they they used to throw here and there, and the same workplace they leave the tool and they will go for other activity. Whenever it is required only, they will search for the tool. Then they will go to the previous workplace and they will bring the tool back. It is not like that. Whatever the workplace is, whatever the work activities, you are issuing a work permit. After the work permit, while closing, it is our responsibility or a good safety practice to visit a workplace, ensure that after completion of activity, they removed all the work debris or not, whether they have cleared the complete work area, whether they are taken out all the tools they have used in that particular workplace. Then slippery surface not cleared. This is also one of the reason. Tools kept in a aisles or a walkways, which means pathway lo manamu టూల్స్ పెట్టడము, వాకవేలో టూల్స్ పెట్టడం వల్ల కూడా మనకి ప్రమాదాలు అనేవి జరుగుతుంటాయి. ఆర్ ఏ కామన్ కాజెస్ ఆఫ్ యాక్సిడెంట్స్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద కామన్ కాజెస్, విచ్ మీన్స్ లీవింగ్ టూల్స్ ఇన్ వర్క్ ప్లేస్ ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ జాబ్, slippery surface is not cleaned, and tools kept in a aisles or a walkways. And tools should be kept in orderly. Some of the people, they may keep all the tools in one place. If the supervisor asks no, they will search for 10 minutes. Still they won't find what the tool the supervisor is asked. So whatever the tools you are using, keep it in a good manner so that it will be easy for to retrieve when it is required. And the supervisor and worker should be trained on what are the areas to wear safety goggles, face shield, helmets, etc. as per the requirement. While you are working with the tools, they should wear a safety goggle, face shield, helmet as per the requirement, and to select the right tool for the each job and their right use. It is not only selecting a right tool for right job, we have to use in a right manner so that we can avoid accident. To return the tools after use, after using of tools, we have to return to the concerned person who is handling that tools. To guard, inspect and repair, maintain tools in a safe condition. We have to guard means protect. If any sharp edges are there, we have to put a cap. And inspect, we have to inspect the tools. If any damage, we have to repair, and we have to maintain the tools in a safe condition. To use the proper storage facility in the tool room, there is tool room and on the workplace, we have to identify a proper storage facility for keeping all these tools. If anybody is working in maintenance, they used to have many tools. They used to keep in a different racks, and a different tools they'll keep it in a different racks for easy identification. to put the tools in such a way that they can be readily available. This is called 5S practice. If the company is following 5S practice, they can retrieve their tools within 20 seconds to maximum below 1 minute. The scrap and replace the tools when worn. Whatever the scrap tools, tool is damaged, then it will be a scrap. And replace the tool when it is worn means it is, wear out, which is no use after. To check out the tools at grips in the sense edges, and to store in a safe condition when are not in use. For example, if you are not in use, it is not useful for other than 10 days or 1 month or 2 months. We have to keep it in a store condition, should be in a safe manner. Ergonomic design. We'll see what is meant by ergonomic design of tools. The ergonomic design of hand tools takes into consideration they should be effectively perform the intended function, which means whatever the tool which is designed for, it has to perform. For example, ఒక గ్రైండర్ ఉన్నారు, ఒక గ్రైండర్ ని కంపెనీలో తీసుకుంటే ఆయన పని ఏంటి, ఆయన గ్రైండింగ్ పని అనేది బాగా చేయాలి. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ వెల్డర్, హీస్ effectively he has to do the welding. If it is a machine operator, he should able to operate the machine without any accident. That is the intended function, which means what is the need, ఎందుకు తీసుకున్నామో, ఏ అవసరానికి తీసుకున్నామో ఆ టూల్ అనేది ఆ పని మనకి చేసి పెట్టాలి. And be properly proportionated to the dimensions of the user, which means the tool size, it should be designed proportionate to the user, which means if you see in India, maximum we can take as an average height of 5.6 to 5.7 feet height. Whatever the tools we are designing or we are procuring, the person could able to manage or able to handle, able to use. If you see any pipe, if you see 1.5 inch pipe, we can have a good grip. If he gives 2.5 inch pipe, we cannot able to hold, we cannot able to have a good grip on that pipe because of the size is heavy. Be appropriate to the strength and the endurance of the user, which means it should be strong enough. Endurance and the strength and endurance and the usage of the user, and minimize the user's fatigue, which means the tool should give a comfort that he should not feel the fatigue. For example, before we used to get the screwdriver two type. One is the normal flat and the star type. Now in the same screwdriver we are getting two side portable type. That is that we can avoid the fatigue. In the same time, we can use two screwdrivers at one shot. It should be comfortable to him. Even before we used to get the plastic or fiber grip. Actually now we are getting, if you go for a good costly item with the Bosch and all, we used to get a rubber so that it will not give a discomfort while operating. And provide a sensory feedback, which means if we have any problem with the tools, we have to give a proper feedback to the designer or supplier so that they will rectify in a future supply materials. Here we see our people told that indaga cheppukunnam manamu enti different tools ani. Type and the safe use of hand tools, we see different types. Metal cutting, wood cutting tools are there, material handling tools are there, and hand feed tools are there, torsion tools are there, shock tools, and non-sparking tools for the hazardous area. Indaga non-sparking tools and non-sparking tools anni kudanu ekkadaithe flammable atmosphere, there is a chance of flammable atmosphere, there we use the non-sparking tools. For example, pharmaceutical industry, petrochemical industries, storage areas, which means flammable storage areas, there use the non-sparking tools, which is made by the ఏమంటారు దీంతో చేస్తారు ఇత్తడితోటి. ఓకే, దెన్ మిస్లేనియస్ అండ్ కటింగ్ టూల్స్, విచ్ మీన్స్ బ్రాస్ తోటి తయారు చేస్తారు అనమాట. మిస్లేనియస్ కలిసి different types of cutting tools. Now we'll see about the metal cutting tools. These are the chisels అంటే ఏం లేదు, మెటల్ కట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది, ఒక చిన్న మన స్క్రూ డ్రైవర్ లాగా ఉంటుంది, but it is made of different metal, it can cut the metal. Stamping and marking tools, tap and die work, and hacksaws, files మీకు తెలిసే ఉంటుంది, ఏదైనా షార్ప్ ఎడ్జ్ ని మనము స్మూత్ చేయడానికి మనము ఫైల్స్ వాడుతూ ఉంటాము. హ్యాండ్ స్నిప్స్ అండ్ ద కటర్స్. While selecting also, there will be a we can avoid most of the accidents while selection itself. How we can see the selection of tools? The material to be cut, which means